If you have a lead magnet, but it's not generating new leads for your business, I want to share with you a client that I worked with who was experiencing the same problem. I took a look at her lead magnet funnel and walked through step by step as a ideal client would. And we found some things in her backend systems, in her marketing, and in her actual lead magnet that needed to be updated in order for her to start generating new leads and leading them to the path to become a client. In this video, I'm going to share with you what we found, what we changed, and the initial results that she was able to achieve once we turned everything back on for her lead magnet funnel. The first thing that I would recommend that you do, and this is the first step that we did when working with this client, is we went through the process step by step as her prospect would when they come to her landing page and put in their information into her opt-in form to receive the free offer. I went through the process and we were able to see that my contact was successfully entered into her CRM, but then I never received her free offer. So we had to go in and fix that before we started driving more traffic into her free offer. So again, the first thing that I would recommend that you do is check your CRM backend systems to make sure everything is working properly. You don't want to put a lot of time and effort and money if you're running ads into driving traffic into a backend system that isn't working properly. So that's step number one. For step number two, we took a look at her actual lead magnet. And when I went through her lead magnet, what stood out for me is that it was very informational. There wasn't a lot of outcome-driven copy in her lead magnet. So as people would go through her lead magnet, they would get information, but it didn't really hit home on what she needed them to know and feel in order to move to the next step in her sales process. So we went through and I gave her some tips on how to revise her lead magnet. She did all the revisions, we changed the layout, and we did a lot of things to her lead magnet to make it more conversion ready. So the third step that we worked on was her actual landing page. We didn't go into looking at the landing page from the point of view of trying to scrap everything and start over. I wanted to see what she had created and see what we could add to enhance the landing page to improve conversions. A few things that we added to her landing page were the bonuses, and we added some testimonials, and we kind of changed the messaging a little bit to fit the new lead magnet that we had taken the time to edit. Once we were done with all of those changes, then we were ready to take the next step and start working on the marketing for her lead magnet. For her marketing, we wanted to focus on organic marketing. So we went through and created some posts with the correct messaging for her to go through and review and approve. And we also created some images for her to go along with the posts. So we created all of the content, gave it to her to approve, and once approved, we were able to set it up within my Go High Level agency to schedule the posts and post them to Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Another thing that we did on social media was we went through her bios and updated her bios to include the link for her lead magnet. Once we did all of this and we had the new copy with the correct messaging for her social media, we had the images to go along with that copy, and we updated her presence on the different profiles, then we were ready to turn her lead magnet on again and test to see how the changes that we made were going to convert into new leads for her business. After turning on her lead magnet again, within the first couple of days, we started receiving new leads for her lead magnet. Here is what my client had to say about working with me and how she feels now about marketing her business.
Hi, my name's Jolene, and just sharing a testimonial in support of Sharon. I had a great experience working with her. Before I worked with Sharon, I was feeling frustrated and lack of clarity. I knew I had a great message and I knew that I was able to help clients, but marketing just isn't what comes to me naturally. And I really wanted to spend my energy on working with my clients. And I was just feeling overwhelmed and stuck. And um, I just didn't want to spend a lot of time and energy on strategy. And so after working with Sharon, I have a lot more clarity. I've gained confidence. I have new interests and new engagement in my social media. I can see how the pieces all fit together now. And Sharon is just so supportive, and she's a problem solver. She's resourceful. So if you're struggling to get your message out, or feeling frustrated with how to make it all work while running your business, Sharon is a great resource. Her and her team are top notch. I was always delighted with how well they had a message that really was mine. It felt like my voice. She took the time to get to know me, to get to know my business, so it really felt authentic. I truly enjoyed working with her. She's truly a gift, and supportive and calm, and she really simplified things and helped me get excited about marketing my business again. So I highly recommend Sharon.
So if you have a lead magnet, but it's not converting the way that you want it to convert to generate more leads for your business, I would encourage you to go back through this video, go through the steps that I've outlined that we took for Jolene, and see where you can improve your backend systems, your results from your messaging, and your actual lead magnet to move people from the actual opt-in to converting to clients. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like, hit subscribe, and leave me a comment to let me know how things are going with your lead magnet.